Hello YouTube and welcome back to Allie's Wonderland Creations. I am Alice Seraphin and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the Pacific Northwest in the USA. Welcome to my channel. So this is my October 2024 Monday and Saturday series review. Oh yes, and so this month we concentrated on two bundles. Well, one's a bundle, one is no longer a bundle, but it was In the Grove bundle and the Grassy Grove bundle. This was a gift from the wonderful Miss Lori. So these two just go beautifully together. I had the best time, and I'm also going to show you a way to do the magnetic sheets for your dies. So I'm going to set those hopefully aside, and we're going to start with the Monday series, and the first Monday of the month is a sketch card, and I was using the sketches from page 22 of the annual catalog, and we chose this one here, but we flipped it this way. We took this little banner and we put it down here, and we ended up taking the flagged area off, and let me show you that card. So this is it. Let me move this out of the way. It's absolutely beautiful. So here we have a little bit up here, a lot more down here, as in the sketch. And this was using this piece of DSP here. I fussy cut all this off. And then we glued this piece. We stamped the mountains, two of them, and die cut them out, glued them onto the piece that was cut off from here, this piece up here, and it just framed it beautifully. And this was from One Horse Open Sleigh. And here's the little bunny from the dies. And you can see here, originally in the sketch, it had that flag piece right here, but it ended up not really working because of that flag going this way and the mountains going this way. That didn't work. So we just put thank you down here, and the thank you was from Grassy Grove. This came out really beautiful. It's blank on the inside with just those beautiful mountains, and it was just in misty moonlight. So that was card number 1 for the first Monday, which is a case of card. Our second Monday of the month, oh, sorry, this was our sketch card. Our case of card, where is that from? This must be this one. Let me turn to it. I think it's page 77. 77. 70. No. In the Grove. I did have it marked and all my things came out here. All right, let's just look it up, right? Because I know this is it. I just moved my deer. Oh, sometimes. And it's always, hey, you know, this is real life. So this is just the way it is. So I'm looking for Grassy Grove is right here, but that's not the one we want. We want In the Grove. Page 70. I was close. I just wasn't all the way there. There's 70. Here we go. So this is the card we cased, and this is how it came out. So this part here, this front part of the card, is from In the Grove die that die cut the birch trees. These trees back here were from the Grassy Grove die set. The deer is from Grassy Grove. Now this DSP is from the Meandering Meadow DSP. It looks to me that they used Thoughtful Journeys DSP back in here, and then their little sentiment was a little side banner, and I chose to use the Labeled with Love punch and See the Good, and this is all from the Grassy Grove dies. So, and on the inside, just the mountain range. And this is the one where, yeah, we're pretending, yes, that we did this on purpose, that we stamped it all upside down, but it still works with it just fine. It really does. So I am really, really, really pleased with this one. So that was our case card. Next, we can do the shaker card. And the shaker card, oh my gosh, the pretty peacock is oh so gorgeous. So look at this. Look at all that in there. Oh, do you see all that? And those little bits look like it's falling snow. Oh, so the birch trees. This is the stitched rectangle dies, which I made a frame out of. This is the large window envelopes that I do the shaker cards with all the time. A little bit of linen thread, a little bit of fussy cutting here. The trees, and we just did our field the same color using the grassy meadow stamp from In the Grove, the mountain. It just came out beautiful. And on the inside, a season of wonder and happiness. That is from Peaceful Seasons. Dies Christmas card. So that's a Christmas card to go in my stash bit. And my fun fold. This, guys, has got to be one of my favorite. And it's because it's such a panoramic view. When I laid it. So this is the center. We used a 3/4 inch circle punch to make a stencil. And I'll show you. So I have a 1 inch circle punch, a 3/4 inch circle punch there. And this is trees. So we just stamped it. I laid these 3 panels out together, used some washi tape to stamp them all together. And the same with the meadow stamp, the trees. And I know there's no Grassy Grove on here. New Day, New Adventure. That is from Feathered Flight, which is an online exclusive stamp set. But this came out lovely. It just is lovely, and it folds flat, and it does fit in an envelope. So those are our Monday cards. These I am keeping. I'm going to show you. So, Tia. Sorry, she's barking at little Finn. So my 1 inch circle punch that I used on, you'll see on one of the cards for the Saturday series, the 3/4 inch circle punch. I'm just going to leave these in the stamp set, and I use this as a mask. It tended to be an extra set that I didn't use, an extra set of trees that I die cut. So I'm just going to stick those in a little clear envelope and stick those in my stamp set. So our first Saturday is always a beginner card, and this one we just stamped, and I did this in the brights. So this is in Blueberry Bushel. No. Sorry. And here's my 3/4 inch circle punch, and this is in Crushed Curry. We did a little sponging with the sponge dauber just by breathing hot air from our bodies on it. We did bring in some wild wheat for a neutral for like a summer field, you know, the dry grasslands. And then our trees were in garden green. And there's our Blueberry Bushel mountains. And I know I didn't do this on camera, but I just stamped the little, where is it? This little image on the inside. And a lot of these are blank on the inside, and that's on the back. And the mountains are just out of this world gorgeous. So that was our beginner card. Our second card is our casual card, and instead of using a punch, we used dies. So here is our mountain, and this took longer because I realized my basic gray ink pad was bad. So I tossed it away, and we used smoky slate. We used a sponge dauber. This was using neutrals. Our sponge dauber was Misty Moonlight, and this was Daffodil Delight. Just Because is in pecan pie, and I showed you on the trees where we did Mossy Meadow. I used a Q-tip to take out some of the ink here and used a Stampin' Up marker to put it back in, along with a little garden green to fill in the greenery. On this stamp, I stamped it up in pecan pie, used a Q-tip to erase some of the ink in little spots, added some garden green from a Stampin' Up marker to add a little bit of green, and a sponge dauber. Just breathed some hot air on it and just sponged it in to color it in some more. Here is the meadow stamp, and I'm going to shut my door. Titi! Oh, her and Finn. Oh, her and a Chihuahua and a Dachshund, right? So back in here, this is this meadow stamp here, the grassland stamp from In the Grove. And this here is from the Grassy Grove as well as the Tall Trees. The mountain, of course, is from In the Grove right here. Beautiful, beautiful card. In the envelope just says smile. In the back is the little mountain there. So that was our casual card. And then for our avid card, this was a lot of sponging. This was stamping, sponging, and we did a sunset. And this is where my 1-inch circle punch came into. You saw me just stamp and tear a paper as a mask so that I could get the sun going behind the mountain, or you could have it, you know, coming up behind the mountain. I added this little bit of a black ribbon. I wish I would have made the bow a little smaller. I might still pop it off and make a smaller bow. I stamped the trees from Grassy Grove in black. So I used, this was using, okay, sorry, this card was in the Regals. So blueberry bushel, no, yes, blueberry bushel, garden green, and then I brought in the neutral of wild wheat and then crushed curry. This one is using bright. So we used Azure Afternoon for the mountains, and then once again I showed you how we just added in some Night of Navy and a little bit from a black spot of color to the mountains to darken up the top of them so it looked like the sun was setting. This is Granny Apple Green with the grass stamp. And then in here is the same grass stamp. We used Azure Afternoon to make it look like water. We used sponge daubers here, and I don't even think I really needed to re-ink. This one was Melon Mambo we added behind here. Then we added Azure Afternoon next. Then we added a little bit of Night of Navy, and then we added in some Gorgeous Grape. And we added a little bit of the Melon Mambo in here, a little bit of Night of Navy, and I think it came out beautiful. But what made this a avid card is we made it into an easel card. And this strip here, we just went like that, and it has this beautiful profile. It's a beautiful display card. So, and I think this came out really, really wonderful. So next, I will apologize that this video took as long as it did. This was my extreme card. I ran into a little bit of difficulties that we had to figure out, but the card did come out beautiful. So this was my extreme card. Now for this card, you did need 2 pieces of DSP. Oh, look at there, a little sponge dot. And I showed you how I used the deckled circle dies, and we made a frame. And then we used both the canopy dies from, well, we used the birch dies and then the tree dies. I call them canopy dies, but they're just the tree dies from both die sets. And we sandwiched them behind here. I showed you that you could either use these circle dies, and I see that that might need a little bit more glue there. I'm not happy with how that's, probably didn't get enough on there. That you could either fussy cut it or you could die cut it. So I used 5, 6, and 8. Or 6, 7, and 8. One of the two. I'd have to look at my notebook. Let me see. I know I wrote it in here. Let's see. 6 and 8. Oh my goodness, I didn't write it in there. I'm going to have to see what it is I did. I forgot to write it in. It has to be 7. So 6, 7, and 8. Because one was, hold on, that's Titi. Now she went in here after causing trouble. Get in here, little missy. Come on. So, and to do the tree canopy thing here, you just had to run this die through twice. Once with a brown color, I used Craft for the tree trunk and branches, and once in a green, which is the soft succulent, because this is New Horizons DSP. Yes, it's retired, but there are so many choices out there. Here we stamped directly onto a scrap piece of DSP, fussy cut it, backed it onto Craft, fussy cut it. These were all die cut with the dies from the Grassy Grove die set. Here's our little bunny. We open it up and we have this beautiful scene. And we have this deer, this little deer. We stamped the trees here. Here we used the mound stamp here. And we also used this one here to fill it into the bottom. And then here we made a little, I just need to get my fingers around it, a little pull out. That someone is me, because it says sometimes you need to know that someone really cares. That someone is me. It's a beautiful little card. I need to figure out how to make this a little sturdier. This one did not come out as well as my husband's, so I don't know if it's because it's DSP or what, but it's still a darling card nonetheless. So those are my cards for October. And I hope you guys like them. I'm telling you what, this is probably, this in the box fold card has got to be my favorites of them, because these colors are just stunning. So let me show you what I'm talking about for using magnetic sheets for your dies. And you can get these at Lowe's and at Home Depot. So, I got these at Lowe's. They're magnetic vent covers. This is what they look like. Package costs like $8.98. So plus tax, you know, a little over $9. You get 3 sheets of them. Okay. So I'm going to show you how I cut mine up. So my aunt and I went there, and it comes with a nice piece of chipboard in there too as well, which I will be keeping. So these are great use for your dies. So you can see this one, that's exactly what's on the sheet, and I'm going to show you how I do that. So here is the piece that I cut for the In the Grove piece. So I have, this is, you know, it comes sitting inside of this, which that is not what we're going to do. I'm going to just tear this off because I don't need that. But this, it already has the sticky tape there, and I put some tear tape on this, and I'm just going to release it. I'm already just going to use the tear tape that's on it, that it came with. And yes, I also put some on this one, which I don't now realized I didn't need to put it on both of them. But hey, it's going to be double secure now, right? That's all. And this time, this one is going to go down. Oh, I know why. I know why. Let's try not to do that, because this one is going to go on top of this one. There was a reason for it. All right, go like this, right? So that goes to the white one. This now is going to go, let me see the way it goes. It goes into this. So there. So why do I do this? It makes this thicker. Let me show you. Where's my second one I'm going to do? So this in itself, you see this is flimsy. When you stick all that stuff to it, this is nice and thick, and that means when you pull it out, it's not going to all go flying everywhere. So now I can take my dies and I can stick them on there. Yes, I could have had a little bit more there, but I think I'm going to be good. Not sure exactly where they're all going to go exactly, but hey, we'll get them on there. I haven't used this one yet. Actually, I think this one goes, maybe not. This one will go into that mountain one. The trees will go here. The bunny and the squirrel and my little cat will need to go here. So there. So, and I'm going to show you, when I put these in here, usually you want to stick them in this way, right? Well, I'm going to tell you, the best way to do it is to stick them in with the dies facing the front. That way, when you go to close it up, and now I realize I got it this way. It's another reason why you want to make sure. Is because when you go to tuck that in, it's not going to push any of those dies, because I do that all the time. So now all of those are nicely secure. They're not going to shake around in there. And let me show you one more time. So this is the iconic imagery dies, right? Make sure everything's out of there. So I'm just going to take this piece off. Not all of these have come off yet. And I just kind of roughly measured. Sometimes I get it perfect, sometimes I don't. I cut it with my big guillotine, so I'm going to add, I'm just going to go lengthwise. I'm not trying to like do over too much here because it has all that stuff in the center. Give it a nice little rub down. Release it. Now that is for this piece. Right? You can see it didn't quite make it on there 100% straight, but it's going to do the job. Now this one, I already gave it a rub down when I did the prep. That's why it's coming off so nice. Otherwise it wouldn't be coming off like that. And this one is going to go down like so. And I'm going to leave my little washi tape bits on this one because I'm still using these. Yeah, I don't even need to stick those in there. There's so much room on this one. So there you have it. Now this one, right? Once again, I'm going to turn it over. Because it's not flimsy, they're not falling off. They're not like flying everywhere. And I'm going to stick that inside there like so and tuck that in. And there we go. So I hope that might be helpful to some of you on how I do my magnetic sheets. I have a lot that don't have them because sometimes I go into Lowe's and Home Depot and they don't have any. But about this time of the year, the fall, the winter time, they usually have these, and they're in the plumbing section, I want to say. And they're usually on the bottom floor. I think it was aisle like 37 or something, or 33, 37 in Lowe's. And that's how I do my magnetic sheets for these. And I do like to store them in these just as added, safety to keep them in there. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope to see you all again in my Wonderland. Bye-bye for now, everyone.